What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we're talking about three different Grayscale trusts today. We're going to be going over BCHG and LTCN for Dialogue Kayaker, finishing it up with Mana for World Travel Ventures. You also wanted me to go over Mana, the crypto, so we'll go over both at the end there. Nothing new has happened, guys. It's the end of the week, another week down, another week bites the dust. What a bearish finish to this week, indeed. When you see candles like this, like what you're getting here, this is what they call indecision candles. And generally speaking, right, when you get like one engulfing, another engulfing back to back like this, it's an indecision candle. And I mean, obviously, right, because you can't decide if you want to go up or you want to go down. Generally speaking, whatever the move that led you into this, that's kind of where you would continue, in my opinion. That's just more kind of bearishness to the fire. I definitely do believe that we're going to see prices that are lower. And as far as the accredited investors thing goes, the PPs, from what I know and from what I've heard, I think we all know by now, is that this window for investment is only open for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm assuming starting this week we have about two to 3 weeks left, so that could put it anywhere from the week of February 26th going into early March, or the week of March 4th going into probably like March 9th would be the end of that week. So I think, let me double check here. No, it would be March 8th would be the end of that week. But that's how I'm interpreting it. It sounded to me like it's not a for sure thing, like it's potentially like left open, like Grayscale could close it off sooner or open it up for longer amounts of times. It didn't sound. There was one comment, I forget if it was on Ethan's Discord, if it was on my comment section on YouTube, but somebody made it sound like it's not a sealed, like written in stone kind of time frame. It seems like it's a little malleable. But what I'm excited about, the fact that it's only open for 2 to 3 weeks, does have me excited, because maybe there are accredited investors who want to invest up here, right? They see that this is up here. Let's go to the Grayscale, actually. BCHG Grayscale, yeah. They see the price is worth $341. They can buy the NAV price, which is less than $1 from here right now. That was lower yesterday, wasn't it? I think that was lower. It was at, I think it was at 334 or 333. I think it was at 333, or sorry, 233. Not 3, 233. I think it's gone. If it goes up, would that mean that they sold some? Or would that mean that they added some? I don't know. I don't know, man. I swear that number was different yesterday, but just by a few cents. Anyways, I'm getting caught up in the noise. What I'm trying to say is maybe someone's seeing this difference and they're like, okay, I'll capitalize on it now. Sure, it looks like it's going down, but I'll capitalize on it. What if prices do end up going to the targets I'm talking about, which would be below NAV price? If they thought it was good to buy here and lock it in at NAV price, do you think that they'd want to buy it at lower prices? Probably. And are they going to use the private sale to do that? No, because it's at NAV price, right? Maybe it matches the current price, but why have it locked up when you could not have it locked up? So potentially the interest that's drawn from this PP investment, that's why I'm calling it that, because it sounds funny. And it is. It's poo-poo PP, man. Maybe there's some interest here. Imagine you feel smart, right? You're an accredited investor, and you're like, oh, I could buy it at the NAV price, and it's worth this right now. Okay, I'll take you up on that. And then about 3 weeks, a month goes by, private sales are closed, and you see this thing below the NAV price. You'd probably be like, well, I might as well dip my toes a little bit more. That might spark interest from accredited investors, individuals with a little bit more money than the average bear, to buy in. Who knows? I'm painting a beautiful storybook here, right? If it has the happy ending and the sunset, they ride off on a rainbow, whatever. Or maybe it's not a rainbow. Maybe they ride off on a road paved in gold. I don't know. Whatever it may be for you. I'm kind of painting a picture perfect storybook ending, right? I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just like imagining in my head, if I was an accredited investor and I did that, and then I saw it go below, there's nothing wrong with taking nibbles. I would say most people who have experience with markets don't just buy all in at once, right? They take nibbles throughout, and maybe they'll put a huge lump sum in for the private sales part, but then if it goes lower, they might be enticed. If they're enticed to do it here, right, would they be more enticed to buy below the NAV price? I think so. So I'm spinning my wheels on that. But long story short, you guys, the same targets are as they've been for over a month now. I think we're going to see prices around $1.80, probably a little bit below $1.80. 123 weekly moving average is chilling right down there. It's a previous area of support down here, kind of like right in the middle of this range here. We did kind of shelf some resistance and shelf some support in this area as well. So I would think that's the area we're going to, at least below these lows, somewhere around like 270 or whatever, you know. But again, you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes. I would assume that as we get below the NAV price, you know, one of two things is going to happen. There might be some induced kind of panic selling because we're now, instead of at a premium, we're at a discount. Or if we get to the NAV price or below the NAV price, there might be intense buying pressure there because people are like, oh man, we're getting it literally at like fair value. Might as well like get in. You know, that could happen as well. But I don't expect it to be a straight line down to 180, but that is the area that I'm looking for. It could be a straight line. Again, it just kind of depends on how things happen, but nobody knows the future. Yes, we are holding this line pretty well as of right now. This is ascending trend line, but I'm not anticipating it to hold. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if I'm right on that, but you know, as of right now, generally speaking, and this is an example of where what I'm about to say doesn't happen, but generally speaking, when you're overbought, before you get overbought again, you go to the oversold zone if you break below the 50. And you did break below the 50 here, but not really, right? Like it's kind of like a bounce off of it. I would say that that's kind of an exception to the rule. If we find a bounce and then we go up, we could see the overbought zone again, and then these lower prices might be out the window. The price is below $2, but we'll see. You know, we'll see. It'll take a little time. Let's see how the weeks unfurl. I do think that prices are going lower. That's, you know, that's all it is. I'm just dragging this out, saying the same thing that I normally say. LTCN, what a week, 12.7% to the downside, rejected its overbought zone, looking good. The last time we saw this, price was a whole lot less exciting, right? When we were still in the same kind of situation right here where we rejected it from top to the bottom that we found. We went down 33%. So from this top to bottom, we're already down 28%. So that's not a whole lot further. But things are a little bit, you know, we were pretty boring sideways here, where here we've been a little bit more volatile. I don't think, and especially after this immense run up that we had, I wouldn't think it's crazy to see prices that are lower than this at all. But let's see. At the moment, I am anticipating prices that are lower than this low. But from this low to this high, to confirm or kind of get a higher degree of likelihood that that's going to happen. Man, closing below that 382 like that, it's like cutting. I really do think we're going lower. Right now, this 618 to 69 area, around 1030 to 1085, that's essentially in the bag. I very much believe that will happen. Okay, the fact that you're taking out this low kind of, to me, adds fuel to the fire that we'd go to the downside, but I want to see how we react with this area. I am expecting that we see this area down here around 672 to 522. That is the expected target. Now that we have a discernible high for sure, we could find a slightly lower low. We could find a slightly higher low here, but just with how we're reacting with the 382, I'm thinking we are going to get that lower low, and that would kind of, to me, if you know anything about Elliott wave theory, I know I'm all over the place, guys, but bear with me. If you know anything about Elliott wave theory, you know that corrective waves, as in like if you have a trend, right, here's your trend up, this would be your corrective wave, that's your move up, right? Corrective waves, if this is your impulsive move down, it's the start of a down move. Your corrections go A, B, C. They're a three-legged pattern, or a three-waved movement. If we click here, you can even see it says Elliott correction wave here. It's an ABC. It's a 1, 2, 3. So if this is an impulse down, right, and then we have 1, 2, 3 up, we could be seeing the next leg down. We might be in the middle of a five-legged pattern, or we might be in the middle of a three-legged pattern, because as this is a correction wave here, and I hope this all makes sense, because if not, you know, I don't know how to explain it better. This in itself, the move down that we're seeing, could be in that sense a greater correction wave than this is from this overall move up. So we're moving up. We're seeing a correction right now. Corrections, as I just said, are defined as 1, 2, 3-legged patterns. This could be the end of this correction, and then we move up. Stuff like that. That's essentially what I'm trying to get at. So generally speaking, with the third leg, the third wave, I think it has to be bigger than the first wave. This is a kind of drawn out one. It could be some kind of like triangle or running flat. I don't know too much about Elliott wave theory, you guys. I know a little bit. I have a very basic understanding. So forgive me if I sound silly, but generally speaking, I would expect, just based off of this fib in itself, that you would move down to 672 to 522. This is a 1, 2, 3 leg up. It looks like you've got your lower highs. You might be setting up for lower lows. It does look like you're starting to form a new move, a new trend based off of what we've seen here on this uptrend. So being that this, we're assuming, is a downtrend, a 1, 2, 3 correction phase is normal. The fact that it's got 3 legs to me would signal that it is complete. So I think taking these fibs is a good roadmap from here. And again, before we can be completely convinced, and I'm pretty convinced that we're going to see these prices at 672 to 522 for LTCN. But before we're completely convinced, let's see how we react with this level. If we bounce here, there's hope that you don't see these prices. If you're looking for that, if you want prices to go up immediately. But if we reject here and then we close below this area, then it's very likely that we go down here. There's hope that we go down here. If we just blast through this 618 like we did the 382 here, very likely we're going to see these levels. So right now I'm already pretty positive that we're going to see these levels, but call it more of a hunch or an opinion, right? It's not necessarily a statistical likelihood just yet. So we'll see as time goes on with LTCN. Let's look at LTCN on this real quick. LTCN Grayscale. Because I'm pretty sure it's at a higher premium. Yeah, it's like over 100%. Right? It's already over a 2x premium. So there might be, thinking of it like this, if these PPs are going on right now, there's probably going to be more interest in the private sales going into LTC or LTCN, right? I wonder what Chainlink looks like. We'll do that next, but we're not even actually talking about that, but I'm just kind of curious. I wonder, ETH Grayscale. Like, what are their premiums at? Not that much. Link, Grayscale. G-Link. Whoa, yeah. What? And Chainlink is at, dude, that's just taking the heat off of BCHG and LTCN. Like if I remember correctly, and I'm fairly positive that Chainlink, G-Link was on there, on that list, that would mean that these guys are buying this thing for a huge discount, right? Most of the interest, if there's private investors coming in for these PP sales, they're probably looking at Link, which is a solid established crypto, or LTCN, which is also a solid established crypto, because both of those are selling at much more significant premiums, right? So that should, in my opinion, that should take the heat off a little bit for other Grayscale trusts, if that makes sense. And so, not all of them are put into these private sale events, but BCHG, I think, definitely would stand to be a little bit less affected by this time frame, right? Like in August, September, whenever it is that this 6-month period ends and their shares are unlocked to hit the markets, they will probably sell. All right, I just want to let you guys know, I can be wrong, but it never happens when you have an exchange go down, and it's under maintenance, it's under some kind of law enforced lockdown for whatever reason, and then it gets unlocked. There's always a sell off afterwards because people want to get their tokens off the exchange. They want to sell because they had a bad experience. They just want to get out of it. Whenever you have your tokens locked up for a private sale, whenever you're investing before things actually hit the market, you're buying into an ICO or an IPO. Whenever it gets released to the market, it happens every time that they just dump on you. It's very rare. It does happen, I should say, it does happen to where you do get a pump initially, even for like multiple days, but that's very, very rare. Normally, like on the opening day, sure, you can see a little pump, but then it dumps. Like it almost always dumps. They're eager to sell, and the reason why is because where they're buying right now versus where it's going to be when they sell, it's going to be phenomenally higher. And statistically speaking, these things almost always pull back from their unlock dates, you know. And all I'm just trying to say is, if anybody has hope that whenever these shares are unlocked, that it's not going to cause a selling event, I would say you probably don't have a lot of experience with these kind of things. I've been doing this for 7 years. Almost every time, like I mean it, man, almost every single time something like this happens, regardless of how it looks, whether it's a private sale or someone has their tokens locked up for whatever reason, or shares locked up for whatever reason. Maybe it's due to legalities, maybe it's due to whatever. When they become unlocked, it's a selling event. It always is. So get that pipe dream out. You know, I mean, it's a possibility, sure, but don't lean on that, right? That's hopes and dreams to the max, in my opinion. It will very much likely, at least for LTCN and Chainlink, promote a sell the news event for sure whenever those tokens are unlocked. But for BCHG, probably not as much. And for LTCN, you know, it'll probably be a little bit. I don't know, if I was a private investor and I was looking, or an accredited investor, and I was looking to invest in this private sale right now, I think LTCN and Chainlink would be the ones that are striking me the most as like an opportune moment, which would take the spotlight off of BCHG and ETH and probably GBTC. We didn't even actually look at that one. This video is going on way longer than I thought. We're going to get to Mana in a second. I promise you, World Travel Ventures. We're going to do it. Didn't I? Come on now. Oh, it's GBTC. Oh, that's right, because it's an ETF. It's a little bit different. It's their big bad boy. Let's see. There's no premium because it's an ETF. Right. So wait, was it not GB? I swear I saw 5. I'm sorry, guys. I must have been wrong, because there wouldn't be a premium on this, right? Or no? Let's see. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I thought I saw 5, but maybe it wasn't GBTC. Maybe it was something else. But I don't know. If anybody knows, please let me know. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. But whatever that 5th one is, if it's not GBTC, it's something else. But yeah, man, I think LTCN's going to go down. I think it is going to go lower. Where's it going to go? Do it back to the TA. Minimum target is, what was it? 672. Maximum is 522. The NAV price is at like 605. So whenever the price is around that or below that, there will probably be some intense interest in this thing, especially if they're buying it up here right now, because it's at like a 2x premium and they can buy it at the NAV price. Imagine it being down at the NAV price or below it. Those same investors might double dip, but onto this open market instead of the private sales, because why would they buy it at the NAV price if it's at a discount, if that makes any sense? So just keep that in mind. Man, I know I've been all over the place with this one, but let's finish it up. Mana on Grayscale. Looking at this thing, it's kind of looking good, and I'm pretty sure this is not one of them that was on that private sale list. Correct me if I'm wrong, because there is an unknown 5th out there, but I don't think this is one of them. Looks pretty good, man. The fact that you hit your 1272, 1414 area, you're finding support at the 886 classic, I would think you want to go up to 3171. This would be one. I'm not really interested in buying these Grayscale trusts because I do like to own the underlying asset. That's just my personal reason. I feel like it's more secure. You never know what can happen with the company. But I really like Mana, and if Mana does what I think it's going to do, this trust could go bananas, man. It could do great. Let's look at it. Let's give it a little bit more of an honest look here on the daily. Yeah, daily RSI looks fine. If you were to reject from here, you'd be rejecting your overbought zone, and that could be a nice reason for you to kind of pull back. That, and you're rejecting your 1272 again. but I would think you want to make a move higher. I don't think you're going to break out of this to the downside. You could. If you do, you're going to go down. You're at 1775, dude. You would drop a lot. 7 to 6. I don't know if I think that's going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised. And the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because I do think Mana wants to move up. But I think you're going to move. I think you're going to like double in price here before long. If we talk about Mana on the native token, we still got this line from last night's analysis. Man, from this high to this high, you found resistance on it before breaking out. You back tested it for support. You've held it as support. This setup, it's the only time that I actually like a horizontal line is when you see this exact thing, right? Downtrend, established downtrend, respecting it here. You broke it, respecting it on the other side too. You're gonna move up. You're not gonna move lower. I'm very, very confident in that. And can I be wrong? Sure, I can be wrong. But I bought some more Mana last night because I saw this and I was like, dude, I wish I saw this earlier. I wish I like thought about this earlier because I honestly think I was assuming price would go lower because I'm a fib guy, you know. That's why it's always good to check out your fundamentals, your basics. I say fundamentals, I mean your fundamentals of TA, the basic stuff. But I would have thought that you'd go to your 61869 area, and you didn't. You know, you didn't, and I don't think you're going to now. But I do think Mana wants to go up higher. Weekly RSI, double bouncing off of the 50 level on the RSI. On the daily, you are pretty strong on your RSI. You could reject from here, and that wouldn't look so good. But even if you rejected a pretty good bit, you still have this kind of like upward channel that you're in. So let it come down. That's okay. If it goes down, I'll just buy more personally. If it goes down, you know, not financial advice, but this is one of my top holds personally. This is one of my favorite cryptos. So I think it's going to do really well. It's worth 50 cents right now. And as crazy as it might sound, I actually have $100 price targets by the end of cycle for this thing. From top to bottom here, if we look at this, your 1886 deep extension is all the way at $92. We should pull up a longer standing chart. Baby Binance, sure. I think there's more history than that, isn't there? No, Binance it is. From the top here to the bottom here, you almost hit your 1886, right? Was it Kraken then maybe? Let me go Kraken. Hold on. Because I swear you did hit your 886, your 1886. Yeah, here you did hit it. So maybe just Kraken and Binance have different numbers, huh? Is that what it is? 28, 14. Let me see. Mana. Real quick. $36. I feel like that should be higher. Oh, that's what the 1886 is higher. That's why. Okay, because this is a higher. Okay. Yeah, so same prices, but it just on Binance for whatever reason it went higher. Okay, whatever. You fell just short of this. I'm going to use Binance because I think Binance has more volume, so it might be of a more accurate reading, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But you went above your 1618. If we were to take, I don't know, I think, is it this here? This low to high? No, that's not what I wanted. I know, man. I'm all over the place today. Low to high. You almost hit your 1886 here, and on the Kraken chart, I'm sure you did actually. My thoughts are you could see the 1886 during this cycle, and maybe you don't. After looking at this chart, maybe you don't. But the 1886 is all the way up there at $97. I would think that you would get, if you don't hit 100, you would at least hit the $90 area, somewhere around here, is what I'm thinking. And you're at 50 cents now, 51 cents now. At least, you know, what we've seen this last cycle was above the 1618. I do think you'd get there. If we go to Mana on CoinGecko, you had a 940. Let's just call it a $1 billion market cap right now. Let's make it nice and round. $1 billion at the current price. That would put Mana at a multi-$100 billion market cap, and I do think that's going to happen. I honestly do think that Mana will achieve a multi-$100 billion market cap by the end of the cycle. But that's all I got, man. I say multi-hundred, but technically it'd be less than 200, but over 100 billion is what I'm thinking, right? Even at the 1618, which you broke through last cycle, that's an 80x from here. At the 1414, the 1272, we're still talking 27 to a 41x, something like that. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got. And sounds like things are getting noisy out there, so I'm going to end it here anyways. Take care, everybody. Have a good day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.